What's up, everyone? It's Michael here, aka Dangstrat. I hope all is well. Today is Monday, July 21st, and it's 10:48 p.m. Eastern Time right now as I make this video. Here's my weekly outlook for the upcoming week. So starting off with DXY on the daily time frame, you can see that this is the current dealing range. We have the swing high here and then the swing low. Last week we went higher and we rated this daily fair value gap here. Wanted to see how, where things closed on the weekly time frame, because so far we had a pretty bearish day here on Monday, and then if we zoom in a little bit onto the 4-hour time frame, you can see we traded higher and we basically tagged this 4-hour fair value gap here, and then we have rejected this level so far. So currently this structure here on the H4 time frame has shifted bearish, and I want to see how we react, if we take out this low here. So if we take out this low, do we deviate off this level here? Or do we start just trading lower from here? So again, two possible scenarios. Seeing how price reacts after, taking out this low. It looks like we did take out this low, actually. Yeah, we did take out this low already here. So I think right now I'm leaning towards bearish on dollar. My outlook from last week, I wanted to see, price raid this high here, and then look for a deviation from that. So again, if you go back to my outlook, this is what I was looking at for last week, looking for a deviation on these highs here. And so far we have deviated these highs. So going to try and stick with my bias this upcoming week. So again, right now we'll see if we can potentially tag this range high, and then start looking for downside here for dollar. So with that being said, going over to Euro USD, you go onto the daily time frame here, you can see that we tagged this daily fair value gap, and then we're starting to see a reaction off of it. If you go onto the H4 time frame, this is the range that I'm watching here. So you have range high and then range low, potential deviation here, and then right now I am currently looking for further upside on euro. So gonna watch possibly for a potential retest on this range low. If you go into the 1-hour time frame, looks like we do have an imbalance down here. In terms of euro, I will be looking to trade this range here. So we'll see if we can get a retest of this range low, and then I will be looking for longs here on euro most likely. Lately we've had a lot of Monday low of the weeks and high of the weeks and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this past Monday today set the low of the week, and then we'll see if we can trade towards this range high end of this week. So with that being said, let's move over to GU and taking a look here at GU. You can see that we've taken out this low here. We're starting to get, a reaction off this level, but GU is not the cleanest in terms of looking for upside. I prefer EU here. I think this low resistance liquidity here for EU looks a lot better. So this will be my main focus for this week. We'll be looking for longs on Euro. And then going over to gold, this has taken out the range high already. So we could ideally, in the upcoming weeks, I think we'll probably start to trade towards this high here. But in terms of some short-term targets, nothing clear for me right now. I think we'll probably retrace a little bit and then possibly trade higher. Something like that there for gold. Moving over to ES, we took out the range. So last week's outlook, I was looking for a raid on this low here, or the first one was this low, and then the second objective was this low here. So we took out the first objective by taking out this range low, and then we immediately reversed off that level. We didn't go for the weekly fair value gap, which was down here. We got an immediate reversal off of this range low here, and then you can see, market made a new all-time high there. Moving over to NQ, it didn't quite take out that low, so it left an SMT divergence there between ES and NQ, and then NQ also, made new all-time highs. This has been grinding higher. So in terms of my outlook for this upcoming week, we do have this fair value gap here on the daily that has formed. So we retrace then to that level, then I would look for potential further upside from there for ES. Same idea with NQ. So again, daily fair value gaps has formed for ES and NQ. We'll see if we can retrace to those levels and then look for further upside. And then in terms of BTC's outlook, we have a new range here. So we'll zoom in a little bit and you can see this is the new range high. This is basically the range low, but I'm just going to use that daily fair value gap there as the range low. So we'll see if we can raid that daily fair value gap and then look for a deviation on that level and then swing it back to the range high. So that is currently what I'm looking for BTC. If you look at the alts, so this is making a move back to the all-time highs, which is this high right here. So we'll most likely, go back to that all-time high level, and then for Ethereum, we're most likely going to see 4K here. Had a massive move last week, and we'll most likely raid these equal highs up here, and then we also have, you know, your all-time high there for Ethereum at 5K. So that is my outlook for this upcoming week. Again, starting off with, we'll go to dollar here. Starting off with dollar, we will see if this sees a bearish reaction off this daily fair value gap / 4-hour fair value gap. Looking at a potential change in order flow here for DXY. Same idea, vice versa here for EU. We rated this daily fair value gap down here, and then we have shifted an order flow on the H4 time frame. We'll see if we can get any retracements and then look for longs. There's nice low resistance liquidity there for EU. ES and NQ, we'll see if we can raid that daily fair value gap and then look for longs from there. And then same idea with BTC. We'll see if we can raid this fair value gap here on the daily time frame and then look for potential longs from there. So that is it for today. I hope all is well, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out.